Hi, this is Ellen Shao, and this is the first lab. The lab purpose is trying to figure out the magnitude of the electric fields. The systems. The system of experiments are tapes and neutral materials for the brace. Surroundings are the room and the ruler for measurements. The initial condition is both neutral tapes and neutral materials as brace. Following are the steps for the experiments. The first few steps is for preparing. First, stick the tape at the top of the other base tape. Rip off the tape from the base tape and check if there's a traction between the tapes and your hands. If not, redo the progress. Repeat above steps twice to create two base tapes. The main steps for the experiments will be stick the pre-made tape on the neutral materials on both ends and put the other tape below it but not too close, and then moving upwards. See how much upper tape is floating. And the result. In the end, we'll find out that the tape is 2.5 centimeter above the bottom one. And the following picture is a picture showing the force that the tape is receiving, but the tape was going to be viewed as a point charge. The principles that used in this experiment have totally three. The first one is when two objects stay together and separate, the electrons on them will transfer and cause a charge difference, result in the tape with positives and negative charge. The principle two, the movement of the tape. The electric force will be attracting each other object if the charge of those are opposite, and will be repelling from each other if the charge are the same. The third one, about the steel tapes, is based on the Newton law. When the tapes are still, that means the force acting on them are at the equilibrium. Thus, we could conclude that the only considered force in this experience, the gravitational force and the electric force, are equal. The following is the formula: mg equals to kqq divided by r squared. Set the q to the equal since we have the same process when we are producing the tapes. The following is a calculation shows whether the experiment result is accurate or not. From the mg equals to kqq divided by r squared, we could find out that the charge on each tape should be 1.166 multiple 10's -8. And then according to the value of the atom that the lab provided, we should get the result that the charge should be 6.4 multiplied by 10's -8. We can find out by the base data that the total atoms should be 4 multiple 10's 11th. But so multiple that by the electric charge, it should be 6.4 multiple 10 8 -8, which is basically approximately 1 to 4 in ratios of electrons and atoms. It is inaccurate because if every atom have to be neutral, it means that protons and electrons should be the same amount, should be 1 to 1. But it's obviously 1 to 4. The following should be assumption background. The atoms should be very close to each other and the charge should be 100% neutral. As time making the charge tape, all the electrons should be able to travel. Potential errors from the experiments. The humidity in the rooms, hands, and the measurements for the distance. The process of making the charge tapes either cause the tape with different charge or other issues. Humidity in the hands basically will transfer the electrons from our hands or from the H2Os in the air onto the object, causing their charge went back to neutral. The following is the lab questions. The answer to the first question is the charge of the tapes will change, but the tapes will still have the same charge, which is positive, since the electrons are the charge that travels and cause a different charge on the object. And the answer to the second question is your hands or other object will then the charge tape getting electrons and go back to neutral charge, which will cause errors or failures to the experiments. The code discussion. The object that we need in the code is two spheres representing the center of charge for the tapes and the center of the force mainly acting on. And there will be 4 arrows in total to represent the direction that acts on those points. 2 of them going to be gravitational force and 2 of them going to be electric force. And the following is a link for my code. Thank you for listening.